Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Thank you for a wonderful year this year. I hope you have a very good Christmas. Oh, 1 second, I think an elf's just come in. Oh, it's a letter for Santa from the Access group. Okay, this is their Christmas wish list of what they would like for their Christmas presents. Oh, it's an assignment task. Okay, they want explanation of what to do for equality and diversity. We can sure fulfill this task. Okay, so let's have a little look at what we need to do for this module. So we have two tasks in which we need to complete for this module. So we have a timeline, and we also have a 1,000 word report of what needs to be completed for this module. Okay, so if we look at the assessment criteria, we have here's the assessment criteria. We have 1.1, 1.2.1, 3.1, 3.2, 4.1, 4.2. Okay, so for the timeline, we will be focusing on the 3.1 and 3.2. Okay, so we have two assessment criteria for the timeline. So if you look at this on the board here, this is what the timeline is going to look like, hopefully. So it's going to be 500 words. Okay, so we've got to explain the most recent law affecting the equality and diversity. So this is what you're going to just explain this law in detail. So that's for 3.1. And for 3.2, we're going to be looking at organisational policies that are being born out of two different examples of laws. Okay, so to be very clear, you're going to be, first of all, explaining in detail this law, and then you're going to be moving on to 2 or 3 different laws. So you've got the Care Law Act, Data Protection Act, the Children Act, or you can look at in a bit more detail, the Equality Act, but you're going to be looking at the organisational policies that this law has introduced. So for example, in a care home, they will have a confidentiality policy that the care home would have to abide by, which is part of the Data Protection Act 1998. The Care Law Act, which is half implemented, you may have a safeguarding policy, to protect all clients. The Children Act 2004, you will have a safeguarding policy again that will affect children. The Equality Act 2010, you'll have a reasonable adjustments policy for those with disabilities who might want to a job in the care organisation. You'll have an equal opportunities policy, which is in every application form. So there's many policies that organisations will create and have to abide by, which will be born from these laws. So some questions you might be asking, John, how am I supposed to fit all these words in this timeline? You can write some bits below the timeline if you wish. Okay, so especially for 3.2, we can do a bit of written work below. Okay, but we do want to see a reasonable attempt of some explanations actually in the timeline. Okay, so it's very clear. 3.1, you're going to be talking about the Equality Act and explaining what that law is. For 3.2, you're going to be looking at 2 to 3 different laws, but you're going to be specifically focusing on the organisational policies that are being born from those laws. Okay, so that's 3.1, 3.2, task 1. Task 2, you have 1,000 words. So this is going to be an essay. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the concepts of equality, diversity, and also difference. You're going to be telling me what those concepts are. You're going to give me some examples. Okay, so what does equality mean? Give me an example of equality. Okay, so it could be that we're all individuals, we're all unique. Give me some examples about diversity, different forms. of diversity, groups of people. You're then going to look at the forms of discrimination, so it could be stereotyping, prejudice, it could be labelling, it could be stereotyping, labelling, it could be prejudice. So they're the different forms. We also want to know what the causes and effects are of the discrimination. So how can that affect the client? So they might feel marginalised, they might feel oppressed, they might feel that it's taken their identity away, they might feel that they've got their self-worth, dignity's gone. There's some of the effects. Once you've looked at those, okay, so that's your 1.1, 2.1, where you're looking at different examples of the laws. You're then going to be moving on to 4.1 and 4.2, which is your PCS analysis. So PCS analysis is a way of trying to understand and recognise people and how discrimination can affect them. So you have the personal, the cultural and the structural layer. Okay, so your personal is your the feelings, so how the person might feel oppressed by the discrimination happening. The cultural could be the organisation, so if a client, if a person has applied for a job as a nursery worker and is male, he might feel that that might not be able to, he might feel that he's maybe unfortunate or not able to get the job simply because most of the women in nurseries are female. So the manager might be reluctant to take him on. That could be because it's a cultural belief that women should only be able to apply for those jobs. Structurally, that's the outer layer, so that's kind of like national. Okay, so what are the common beliefs about groups of people? So for men, some people believe that you've got to maybe be a builder, a plumber, electrician. Females usually are oppressed by thinking that they do unskilled work when no qualifications are needed. So that's like a kind of structural belief. Okay, so that's PCS. It's quite complex. It will require some independent reading to know that a bit more. Okay, feminism is another way we can actually challenge discrimination and recognise diversity. So feminism is about trying to recognise women have rights and that they shouldn't be oppressed or seen as non-superior compared to men. Okay, so it would understand that that, for example, pay, jobs, roles within the family. The feminism movement is about trying to make sure that women should be seen as equal, should be as equal to men. Okay, there's no difference there. So again, it's quite a complex theory. It will require some independent research, but this is another way of understanding diversity as well as trying to challenge and tackle discrimination. Some other models, the social model of disability is another way of recognising diversity and challenging discrimination. So it believes that society creates barriers for people. So for example, people's attitudes, their beliefs to people about their disabilities. So it's trying to say that people need to be educated in society about differences. Okay, so once we've tried to instill that, discrimination can be eliminated. So think back to the dementia lady who came in from Alzheimer's Society. Her role was trying to raise awareness of dementia and the different kind of how it can affect people. So she wanted to obviously inform, educate people what it is, how it can affect people, what we need from people. So that is an example of promoting a social model of disability. Okay, it's educating people, equipping them. It's trying to say, think about how your environment is laid out. Think about the corridors. Think about transport, actually getting about how difficult that can be for people. So it's trying to say is that once we've changed society, make people more aware of different disabilities, and try to think about how we can adjust this to obviously that it'll fit different groups of people. It'll be more obviously much easier for those people. So social model disability is a way of trying to tackle discrimination, try to look at what needs to happen in society, and it's actually helping us to recognise difference, that obviously in how we're all different. So that's another model. There's many other models, okay, but to try and keep it simple, we'll focus on the PCS model, the feminism model, and the social model of disability. So I'm expecting that both groups, my group and Paul's group, will do some group work, have lots of discussion on this, because it is quite complex, to try and obviously help deepen your learning. Okay, but in essence, all these three theories, it's all about trying to recognise discrimination, diversity, and it's helping us as health and social care workers look at what we need to do in order to try and help people. Do try and put some case examples in, so that obviously it's applying your knowledge. Okay, so we'll be looking for examples. If you do that, we can be confident that you're explaining it and also you're trying to evaluate it, because you do need to put some evaluation into this. So think of a strength and weakness in applying these theories. Good luck and have a great Christmas.